Hello everyone, how you doing? I hope you're all doing really well today and welcome back. I'm Lindsay, your host of the Heavy Metal Journal and writer for Lambgoat and the Moshville Times, and I'm back with New Metal Monday, where I talk about my favourite new releases of the week, and I have 4 brand new albums that I want to talk about this week. But before I begin, just in case you didn't catch my post the other day on the community tab, I have started a brand new project called Hell Hath No Fury alongside my co-host, friend and fellow metalhead Faye, who is also a podcaster, a talent scout, and she does some PR work for some underground labels as well. So definitely go and check that out. It'll be linked in the description box below. And basically this podcast is talking about various news, events, opinions within the metal world, controversies. We'll also be talking about metal and a few fun wee things in between as well. So definitely go and check that out. That'll be linked in the description box below. But like I said, 4 brand new albums that I want to talk about this week. So let's just jump straight in. Okay, so the very first album that I want to talk about this week is Warbringer with Wrath and Ruin. This is the 7th studio album from the US thrash metal band. Now, this is one of the thrash metal bands that emerged during the resurgence or the new wave of thrash metal in the early 2000s, and this record is spectacular. Now, at first, when I listened to this record, I thought it was a really cool thrash metal record, which errs on the heavier side of thrash, and it definitely has that blackened kind of edge to it as well. Incredibly frantic, screaming solos, incredible riffs, rasping vocals, thunderous drums, and a lot of really cool harsh melodies. But they really change things up in the latter half of the record, and that's when they become a lot more creative, and that's when the album really grabbed my attention. It becomes very dark and very twisted, but also incredibly detailed and layered at the same time. It's really complex and it really does pay attention to detail, but the melodies are captivating, and those solos, I cannot get over the guitar solos. They are scorching, intricate, detailed, screaming, but absolutely beautiful at the same time. It's one of those thrash metal records that you can't help but listen to over and over again because it's addictive and it really does hook you in. It goes straight for the jugular and does not let go with some really cool chugging bass lines. And on occasion, you do have that Tom Araya style of scream throughout, which I think is absolutely fantastic. I am a huge Slayer fan, so when I heard that, that's instantly what I thought of. And it really does add a very ominous, evil sound to the record. So if you are a fan of the likes of Slayer, Creator, Havoc, or Evil, you're definitely going to want to get onto this. But this is definitely one of my favourite thrash metal records of the year. Don't sleep on this one. Definitely check it out. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Wombbath with Beyond the Abyss, and this is the 7th studio album from the Swedish death metal band. Now, this is brutal, old-school Swedish death metal that really focuses on that crushing, mid-tempo groove stompy stomps, but it's incredibly blistering and ridiculously heavy at the same time. This completely annihilated me. My face melted when I listened to this album for the very first time. But on top of all of that groove stomp and that annihilation, you've got these really creepy violins and ominous synths throughout that creates this very evil layer when you listen to it. You have spiraling riffs, screaming solos, ridiculously thunderous blast beats, and the vocal style is primarily guttural, but you do have cleaner vocals acting as a backup as well at the same time. This is a really cool record if you like your old school Swedish death metal that really focuses on that groove stomp, but with a little bit of a modern take and that very ominous kind of synth sound with really creepy violin as well. Definitely get onto this one. I absolutely loved this. So if you are a fan of the likes of Entombed, Paganizer, or Grave, you're definitely going to want to get onto this. But I can't stop listening to this record. I love my old school Swedish death metal with a lot of groove and a lot of rhythm to really sink your teeth into, but it completely annihilates you at the same time. Definitely check it out. Okay, so next up on my list, I have Nite with Cult of the Serpent Sun, and this is the 3rd studio album from the blackened heavy metal band from the US. Now, basically, this is new wave of British heavy metal meets dark, modern metal with a blackened twist to it, and it is spectacular. It's melodically rich, really dense on the melodies and the harmonies, and very guitar driven, so you can expect a lot of really cool riffs and solos throughout this entire record. But because it has that blackened edge to it, it sounds really evil and ominous, which is also helped along by the vocal style, which is very thrashy, but has that blackened, venomous rasp to it at the same time. There's just a very triumphant and muscular presence about this record, which incorporates a little bit of doom throughout as well, plus black and roll and a little bit of thrash metal as well. So if you're a fan of the likes of Morgul Blade, Cloak, Wraith, with a little bit of early tribulation in there, this one is definitely for you. But this is a very enticing record. It's incredibly catchy, but really dark at the same time. Check it out. Okay, so last up on my list, but certainly by no means least, I have Alzhagoth with Ad Finum. And this is the debut album from the pagan melodic death metal band from Italy. Huge H.P. Lovecraft vibes in this. I absolutely love anything to do with H.P. Lovecraft, but then when you team that with melodic death metal, you're sure as hell going to be winning me over. And this record is no exception to that. It is absolutely stunning. Now, this definitely falls on the heavier side of the melodic death metal subgenre, and it's teamed with a lot of really creepy old school synths that create this otherworldly kind of evil sounding atmosphere to it. But this is a guitar driven record once again, so you can expect a lot of really cool dynamic riffs, soaring solos, and really harsh, captivating melodies. Now, it does alternate between your groove stompy stomps and your frantic energy, but there's also a very rousing kind of grandiose atmosphere. It's a very opulent record, but it certainly falls on the heavier side of things. I love the fact that they have balanced that raw aggression with the symphonic beauty, but the symphonic side of things is not the focal point. It is very much the guitars and the drums that are the focal point in this. And the symphonics are there as support and a backup, which creates this incredibly ominous yet beautiful atmosphere. Now, the vocal style is guttural, and when I say guttural, I mean guttural. These are bassy, intense, and incredibly demonic. They have such power and energy behind them. So if you are a fan of the likes of Upon Stone, Disparaged, Burn Down Eden with a little bit of early In Flames in there, this one is definitely for you, but definitely check it out, especially if you like your heavier melodic death metal with pagan themes and a bit of an H.P. Lovecraft vibe. Don't sleep on this one. And that's it for this week's New Metal Monday. Once again, comment down below to let me know what you think of today's records, and if you have any of your own recommendations, please let me know and I will get them added to my list. Let me know what you think of the new project that I'm involved in, Hell Hath No Fury, and if you have any ideas or if you want us to talk about anything in particular, please let us know and we will definitely get that sorted out for you. Make sure to follow me on all of my social media handles. They are in the description box below, and if you use Spotify, make sure to follow the Spotify link that I have down there too, which has every single album that I talk about on my New Metal Monday videos. So if you use Spotify, make sure to follow that because I update that every single Monday when these videos go live. But if you don't use Spotify, the band's Bandcamp links will also be in the description box below as well, just so you can find the music that I'm talking about as easily as possible. Thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate it all as always, and I will see you very soon in my next video.